Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. In this session, we will be discussing from the 13th and 14th verses of the 11th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The 13th verse, Gopura Dwara Margeshu Kruta Kautuka Toranam Chitra Dhvaja Pataka Grair Anta Pratihata Tapam. The meaning of this verse is the city gateway, the household doors, and festooned arches along the roads were all nicely decorated with festive signs like plantain trees and mango leaves, all to welcome the Lord. Flags, garlands, and painted signs and slogans all combined to shade the sunshine. You see, the whole city is prepared to welcome the Lord. And how did they prepare? They decorated the entire city. The gateway, the household doors, the arches along the road, everything was decorated very beautifully with natural nature's gifts. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, signs of decoration in special festivals were also collected from the gifts of nature, such as the plantain trees, the mango trees, fruits and flowers. Mango trees, coconut palms and plantain trees are still accepted as auspicious signs. Whenever there is a need in the Vedic culture for decoration, they utilize such natural things. They don't manufacture artificially some decorative items. Such artificial decorative items are later on very difficult to dispose of. Just like nowadays, so much of hue and cry about plastic. The plastic waste is very difficult to dispose of. Whereas all these natural products, they are, as is said, biodegradable. So there is no difficulty in disposing them of. And they are easily available without much endeavor on the part of the people to produce them in factories. There is no need of any factories like that to produce them. Most important point Prabhupada makes here, the flags mentioned above were all painted with a picture of either Garuda or Hanuman, the two great servitors of the Lord. Even today, if you see any temple, Vishnu temple especially, then you see the entrance of the temple, the picture of Hanuman and Garuda are always painted at the entrance. Even the deity of Hanuman and Garuda are there in the beginning of the temple. So, they are the great servitors of the Lord. Both render valuable service to the Supreme Lord. For devotees, such paintings and decorations are still adored, and the servitor of the master is paid more respects for the satisfaction of the Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Mad Bhakta Puja Abhyadika. Worship of my devotee is greater than worship of me. Krishna says that in Bhagavatam, 11th canto, while instructing Uddhava. So, Hanuman and Garuda are great servants of the Supreme Lord. So, when they are paid respects by the devotees, the Lord is thoroughly pleased by such respects paid to his dear servants. So the flags were decorated with paintings of Garuda or Hanuman. So in the Bhagavatam, there is a description of different pastimes of the Lord with Garuda participating in those pastimes. When Krishna went with Satyabhama to the Indraloka to get one Parijata tree, that time he went on the back of Garuda. And when Krishna had to fight against Banasura, then he was carried to that capital of Banasura by Garuda, and Garuda also was assisting the Lord in fighting against Banasura. So in this way, even Hanuman serves the Supreme Lord in his form as Ramachandra, and the Ramayana, the elaborate description is there how Hanuman served Lord Rama in so many ways. Hanuman is extraordinarily powerful, but he uses all that power only for service of Lord Rama, not for any other purpose. As opposed to that, people in this world, due to some pious credits, if they have got some power, they want to utilize that for lording over others or for their own sense gratification. But the devotees never utilize anything they may have or they may possess or they may acquire for their own sense gratification. They never use it for lording over others, because the Supreme Lord is the Lord of everyone. He is the Lord, and everything should be utilized for his service because everything belongs to him. Isha vastyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. So therefore, these two devotees, servitors of the Supreme Lord, are always engaged in the service of the Lord, and they are very powerful personalities. It is said Garuda, when he is flapping his wings when carrying the Lord, the hymns of the Samaveda emanate from the flapping of the wings of Garuda. This is the devotion of Garuda. Great personalities. They have extraordinary power, abilities, but everything is used simply for devotional service of the Supreme Lord. That's all. That's the ideal. They teach us the ideal way of utilizing whatever we may possess. The 14th verse, Sammarjita Mahamarga Rathya Apanaka Chatvaram Siktam Gandha Jalair Uptam Phala Pushpakshatankuraihi. The meaning of this verse is, the highways, subways, lanes, markets and public meeting places were all thoroughly cleansed and then moistened with scented water. See the opulence of Dwarka. They used to clean all the roads thoroughly with water and then sprinkle scented water. Nice fragrance. To welcome the Lord, fruits, flowers and unbroken seeds were strewn everywhere. This is also the opulence of the inhabitants of Dwaraka. So many fruits, so much flowers are there because the flower gardens are giving plenty of flowers, and fruit orchards are supplying plenty of fruits, so they can afford to strew them everywhere in order to welcome the Lord on the streets, in the junction places, road junctions, and in the arches. So Srila Prabhupada explains, scented waters prepared by distilling flowers like rose and keora were requisitioned to wet the roads, streets and lanes of Dwarka Dham. Again, scent is not artificially prepared by some chemicals, but rather by distilling natural flowers which have got nice fragrance. Such places, along with the marketplace and public meeting places, were thoroughly cleansed. So cleanliness is very prominent in Vedic civilization. That means they are situated in the goodness, mode of goodness, if not in the transcendental spiritual platform. Of course, Dwaraka Nivasis are on the transcendental platform. But even those who are not on the transcendental platform, they should at least be in the mode of goodness. That helps to develop the pious activities leading to ultimate development of bhakti. From the above description, it appears that the city of Dwarka Dham was considerably big, containing many highways, streets and public meeting places with parks, gardens and reservoirs of water, all very nicely decorated with flowers and fruits. Nowadays, we don't find so many parks or gardens in cities especially, because people have become very, very greedy for constructing so many buildings. Right? The cities are more like concrete jungles, especially the most developed cities, even in our country. Formerly, there used to be more gardens and parks and open spaces, but now you don't find that. To welcome the Lord, such flowers and fruits with unbroken seeds of grain were strewn over the public places. This is the opulence of the residents of Dwaraka. Of course, when Krishna consciousness is there, there is plenty of supply of everything by material nature, because material nature is directed by the Supreme Lord. Maya Dhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Characharam. So the Lord will direct nature to supply everything when people are God conscious, Krishna conscious. When people become sinful, then material nature withholds the production of grains and fruits and flowers, and rains won't be sufficient like that. Unbroken seeds of grain or fruits in the seedling stage were considered auspicious, and they are still so used by the Hindus in general on festival days. So this is the culture, that decorations are done using natural supplies by nature, natural gifts like fruits, flowers, unbroken seeds, water pots with yogurt and grains like that. So Dwaraka, where Krishna resided with all the Vrishnis, his relatives and friends, and his family members, was the ideal city, and everyone there was devoted to Krishna, were devotees of Krishna. That is the ideal for human civilization. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.